Wise Shaman, thank you for coming to talk to me at this time.
I don't even know why I bother, since you ignored my wisdom last time.
I know you didn't approve, but it was $12 million per. How could I turn that down?
I understand. That's a lot of peyote. What is your question now?
You heard what happened with Steve Kerr. Now I think my path has changed to pursue Derek Fisher.
Oh, what? Derek Fisher? Man, you still crazy. You ain't never gonna learn. What, you trying to teach your team to flop better?
At least he knows the triangle.
My brother Rufus knows the triangle. Doesn't mean he should be the Knicks coach. Man, oh my, I can't believe you. I'm gonna have to slap you across the forehead, sucker. Maybe these guys can help. The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Power Column for Box Score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock here in sunny Los Angeles, and my best buddies, the Danettes, are joining me from Milford, Connecticut. Huge night in the NBA last night. Not only did we have Game 2 of Heat Pacers, but the draft lottery also took place. Two teams were represented by owners' daughters. Sacramento by Anjali Ranadive and Milwaukee by Mallory Edens. McLovin, as you were watching this, did you know Fritzy would be smitten this morning?
Actually, I saw his Twitter was heating up with a lot of references to these two young ladies. And I actually said to myself, I'm like, oh, well, they're way too young. We probably won't even mention this on the show. I thought none of the Danettes would even go there.
You were wrong.
Yeah, that girl Mallory, before the draft started, the draft lottery started.
She was in high school?
She was in high school.
Right.
She had like 290 Twitter followers, and this morning she was up to over 30,000. So Fritzy's not alone.
I guess she just turned 18,
Yeah.
and so that is a little young. And Dan gave me a little grief about that. But I was guessing 23, 24. At any rate, whether she's old enough for me or not, that's besides the point. She's very cute. So.
Paulie, on a scale from 1 to 10, how high was the Musburger creep level when Fritzy told us he was checking them out?
Good question, Brock. I'm going to say only a 5 on Fritzy. He texted, if the Bucks get the #1 pick, it's fixed. Mallory Edens is a cutie. Now, he thought she was in her early 20s. She was 18, so he backed off. But the fact that a 44-year-old man thinks that early 20s is in his wheelhouse is a 10 on the creepy.
I didn't say I had a shot with her, but
you wouldn't have to say that. We can assume that. But the fact that Fritzy, who is 44, and if you took 2 decades away from his age, it'd still be 6 years older than her.
I'm quite convinced there's a lot of dirty 40-year-old men that find co-eds attractive.
Right, and they're in jail.
Unfortunately, you don't file her under co-ed. It's more like barely legal is where you would find those ones.
Freshman, sophomore college.
She's in high school.
Fritzy going with the mob Amber Alert mentality. Baseball also in the news as Derek Jeter is making his final appearance at Wrigley Field this week. Zeton, are you planning to attend at least one Yankee game this season to see Jeet's farewell tour, or do you really just not care enough?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess all of the above, actually. No, that's not true. I am going to try and go. When we found out that Jeter was retiring, my brother and I were like, all right, well, we both have sons, and like it would be pretty awesome to take them to go see Jeter play so that years later they could say, you know, they got to see Derek Jeter play when, you know, baseball is sort of rewritten.
Fritzy, you chimed in on the gift Jeter received from the Cubs, and that didn't go too well.
Did you see what the Cubs gave Jeets?
Awesome.
They gave him the number 2 off the scoreboard at Wrigley. Yeah, Fritzy.
It was creatively frugal of them. But I think it's actually something he would probably... Wouldn't he frame something like that and hang it up somewhere?
Wait, you were going to end with creatively frugal, weren't you? You were going to stop right there.
And then there was a big pause, which was like begging for me to say something else.
Try it again. Hey, Fritzy.
I think it was creatively frugal of the Cubs to give him that too. Don't you think he'll frame that up?
I like that.
It wasn't meant to be anything particularly clever in terms of like a mock headline kind of thing, but I thought it was a creative, cool gift instead of some of the standard things he's getting around the league, and then it's also cheap.
We got confused. Like, we're so used to when Fritzy opens his mouth that it's got to be some kind of joke. That wasn't actually a joke. That was just a statement.
You delivered it like a headline, though. I think it was creatively frugal.
It wasn't meant to be a play on words or anything like that. I was just making an observation that I thought it was a creative gift by the Cubs, but also very cheap. They didn't have to go out and spend all kinds of money money on a fancy car or anything like that for him. But yeah, the delivery, I guess, gave the impression that I was
What
trying
were we
to come up with
supposed
some
to
kind
say
of
after
phrase.
that?
I don't know. I don't think every single thing that we all say necessarily sets up for some type of great response by one of us or the host. But in that moment, I just, that's
Man,
what I
I don't
decided
know.
to
I
say.
think
The entire conference.
actually in like talk radio, that's sort of the entire idea.
It's the intent, but
Conversation.
I think we've all come up short on more than one occasion, expecting a clever retort from something we say. But that sounded like the way I delivered it was something of a mock headline-esque type thing, and was not intended to be that way.
No doubt Jeets is a great nickname in sports, so you guys decided to share other nicknames throughout sports history, and Fritzy decided to chime in again.
If you're going to be called a nickname that is applicable to your sport, the Intimidator. Yes, Fritzy.
The Man Hungarian? But Roboski had a good one. Again, no help. No help from the crowd here.
How the hell did you come in with the Mad Hungarian as one of the
Oil
great
can? Probably not. Oil can Boyd, probably not.
You know your microphone's on.
It's on?
Yeah, it is
I thought we were
on.
in commercial break. Oh,
We're
this is
on.
awful.
We're on.
Second.
Oh, man. The problem is we're talking about like the level of Wayne Gretzky, Dale Earnhardt,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson.
I always like Al
a
Roboski.
Cardinals reliever.
The problem with Al Roboski is it's more of a visual thing, with his antics on the mound, the way he'd turn around and fire the ball to his glove and have to spin around and have this angry face towards the
That was the
towards the
problem.
batter. But
I think the issue there was I actually respect a good reference, and it was not a bad reference at all. Al Hrabosky, former Cardinals pitcher, the Mad Hungarian. But if you just say the Mad Hungarian and then just stop, it's a little bit obscure and needs just a little bit more setup. Same with Oil Can. And if you said like, hey, former Red Sox pitcher Dennis Oil Can Boyd, then you're like, yeah, that is a kind of cool nickname. I think it needed a little more reference.
Oil can felt like a lifeline too, like you're trying to save
I was
it.
literally
Oil
just throwing
can
out
was the
any-
best you could come up with
Three
as a lifeline.
amigos.
Oil can, throw it up there.
any nickname that comes to mind at this point, just throw it out there.
I was with you, Fritzy. He was a Royals, too. Guys, did you have
Okay.
any nicknames growing up? Paulie, let's start with you.
But there's not a lot of archery-related nicknames that. Last picked. I don't know if that was a nickname or just a factual statement. Last picked, I seem to be. I was last picked a lot for sporting events. Not archery, first pick.
I had two growing up. It was either Patio, which is obviously a play off of my name, or Tripod.
And Poochie
That's a
Buns.
lie. That's a flat out lie.
Tripod? No,
Tripod.
you're not
No one
buying
ever
that?
called you that. No, unless you're really into photography. Everyone called me Pearl. In fact, a lot of people they don't know my real name now is McLovin. A lot of people thought I was Pearl.
You know, that's true, Brock. I've met some people on the road before, and I was like, yeah, I work with Perloff. And they go, oh, yeah, I love Pearl. Pearl and I were tight and
Yeah, that's
whatever.
like, what?
And they refer to
Pearl.
him as Pearl, and we're the only ones who don't.
Yeah, if I was Pearl on the show, would I have a completely different persona? I feel like, but then again, Pearl leads to a lot of like nicknames that aren't as flattering.
That
If
is
you add
very
certain
true.
words to Pearl,
Let's
You
try it
don't
out.
want that.
yeah, Pearl Bailey, no,
Yes.
Pearl S. Buck,
Jewelry, you don't want that.
yeah, Fritzy.
I was sometimes TJ or Joey. My middle name's Joseph, so for Todd Joseph, I got a few TJs and,
Hey,
and
Joey.
Joeys, but mainly Fritzy from
TJ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
I love that Joey all of a sudden. That,
Dude,
that
that's
might
awesome.
stick. Hey, Joey.
Dale would love calling you Joey.
Yeah.
He would go to town
I
on
have a
that
feeling
one.
he's going to have some fun with that.
My brothers and sisters, we had pretty cruel nicknames. They were Pimple, Scab, and Wart. And as a kindergarten, I fell and hit my tooth on the counter and turned my tooth black. So they called me Black Tooth, and it still hurts. We're just getting started. Up next, we'll talk about making babies. And do the Danettes know they're hacky, eh? We'll be right back.
This is Mike Francesa, and I'm missing the birth of my child to watch the box score.
Welcome back to the box score. Amazing that Mike Francesa can still reproduce. Ooh, yeah. Guys, we all know Dan Nation is full of devoted fans, but a couple sent us a photo. Patrick and Larissa had the show on while she was in labor in her hospital room. Seton, do you think Fritzy's bombs helped induce labor?
Oh, man, well, certainly. I would think if it was a good joke and she was laughing and you sort of get that, like, abdominal pressure there from laughing, ha, 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 that would probably help more than just this.
The Man Cave also got its own newborn today as Paulie presented Dan with the award from the World Beer Cup Paulie, should the back row be left off the placard since they don't drink the award-winning beer?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, McLovin had a good run back in the 90s. Fritzy never had a booze run, which I really think he should. I think a couple beers a day or a couple glasses of wine would do him some good. Try something new in his life.
I've seen Fritzy drink a little. He did that lemon drop shot. He wasn't drunk at all.
Well, yeah, that's because it was this much alcohol in an entire night.
It was like candy.
But no, in all seriousness, that was a really cool thing to get that award because we made that beer with Red Hook, and they really did, in no BS, take our opinion in the making of the beer. Dan sent it back a couple times, said, no, this is not what I want. And then when it came back, it had this nice, smooth, spicy taste to it, and we all loved it. And the one thing people come up to us and say is, it's really good. It's not some schlocky beer that you put out just to have your name on it and make some bucks. And for it to win a major award, it's a major award. It's badass.
It's a delicious beer. Speaking of babies and liquids, there was a moment of panic when the boss was frantically looking around the man cave for the infamous stained Elway jersey.
It's disappeared.
Fritzy, where's the Elway jersey?
It was here like a month ago.
Is it because we joked about this with the strange stains
No,
on the
you guys
plexiglass?
you guys have been crueler than the Elway thing, although you stepped over the line with that. I think we just found
The
it.
VRGs are bringing it.
Oh, okay. Boys in the back? Yes, he.
There's definitely still remnants there, but somebody tried to clean that.
Fritzy.
Fritzy would never try to clean anything.
That's true.
He definitely asked somebody to do it.
Did you ask somebody in the back, the boys in the back, to clean the Elway jersey, the plexiglass?
I did not.
You swear?
I do swear.
It's still probably one of my favorite things we've ever done, where it was just so far over the line, and I'll never forget Todd's face when he's sitting in the box saying, I can't believe I actually have to address these allegations right now. This is where we're going.
Todd's a notoriously vague guy. I've never heard him say the words, no, I didn't take care of myself upon the Elway jersey.
I like
And-
to leave a little mystery because everyone was having so much fun with it. I think it'd be more fun to have that little bit of wonder out there instead of just being defiant and saying, no way would I do something like
Right,
that. So,
or it wouldn't be the truth.
who knows what went down?
We went through our box score archives and were able to find video of the first time DP found the stains. There it is. Just a spackling of who knows what all over the glass. McLovin, did you move it since it was right over your head?
Oh, God. No. Honestly, there are many times where I find myself, like, Todd and I sit way too close during the day. Like, I think I've caught your terrible
But that
thought.
looks like a bird got to it. I don't know if I'm quite that.
There's not a lot of birds in an indoor studio. I mean, just not a lot.
I don't know. That could
Yeah,
be,
it's about 6 feet away.
I think it's the distance that's
that
impressive.
could be complimentary if you really think about it. But that's that's a strange stain. I got to take.
I mean, I know
gotta
you
take-
really like Elway.
Yeah, I got to take all kinds of medicine these days to get something like that going. But
God.
that's impressive.
The best thing ever.
Yeah, and just in case nobody knows how the Elway jersey got stained, it might have went something like this.
Elway won the Super Bowl. And it's autographed.
Oh, what has happened to this show?
Awesome.
Up next, the
That was a
Danettes
reenactment.
team up to test their puck skills. And why were Fritzy's mock headlines
still on the
banned? We'll find out next.
Help me with this as the father of 3 daughters. Your daughter is getting up there to be as famous as you are, Gretz.
She's more famous than I am. It used to be people in Canada would say, hey, how are you? Or where's your dad? Now it's Paulina with you. So life has changed, Dan.
Oh.
Welcome back to the box score. It's not a reach to say the great one's daughter is probably more famous than him these days. Fritzy, when are you going to be able to book her on the show?
Taking a look at that magazine cover, I think that should be a top priority for as early as tomorrow. I have not inquired about her availability, but I think that's one of those in-studio guests that we would need to pursue as heavily as possible.
I don't think that interview is ever going to happen on this show.
What if she said, Fritzy, if you could hit a 100-yard drive, I'll come on the show?
I would start practicing immediately, probably now during the show.
Fair enough.
Gretzky's interview with the boss was lighthearted, and when he signed off by saying, thanks, guys, this is how you boys reacted.
You guys.
You guys!
Ooh.
He acknowledged us!
Yes.
Yes!
Did you notice what he said at the end? You guys, plural.
You guys.
Acknowledgement from the great one?
Yes!
Oh.
Oh. Heck yeah, dude. I feel like I could go up to Wayne Gretzky right now and be like, hey, what's up? I'm Seaman. He'd be like, yeah, I know, dude. What's up, bro? Like, hey, Seaman, how you doing?
Yeah, just to clarify, we weren't talking before he came on. Sometimes they'll hear us on hold. No, Gretzky is a huge fan of the show, huge fan of the Box Score.
There's no
Probably watching right now.
There's no co-hosts or anything, so he's got to be referring to
Brock, there's a thing in sports radio where an athlete will go on, if he doesn't know if he's on with one person or many, at the end of the interview, he'll go, all right, thanks, guys, even though he's on with, like, just Jim Rome. He'll go like, all right, thanks, guys. That means he's not paying attention.
Right.
He's just doing another interview. He said, thanks, Dan, and thanks, guys. So that was a separate personal connection.
And, you know, he said, I want to have posters around my man cave like you have. Clearly watches the show.
heard
He knows what's up.
Yeah.
Guys, we were wondering just how well you know your hockey. Let's play a little game of hockey charades. Your partner has a hockey term, and he's got to get you to say it in 30 seconds. Let's start in the front row. Here's Seaton's word for Polly. The clock starts now.
You put it on top of a cake.
Candle.
No.
Light the lamp.
No.
Lamp.
You could also put it on a
Frosting.
cupcake.
Frosting.
When it's water is frozen.
Ice.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
So what do you put on top of the cake?
Ice cream. Ice cream cake.
I don't know. Is it me? Is it me?
Icing?
Icing. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, congratulations. Finally. To the back row, McLovin, here's your word for Fritzy. 30 seconds. Go.
I admit this makes me nervous in general to talk about, so I'm going to keep it as clean as possible. This is a vulnerable spot for a goalie.
The crease.
No. When he
The
is
net.
setting up.
Oh, the 5-hole?
That wasn't a far reach for Fritzy. Front row again. Polly, your hockey term for Seaton is below. Have at it.
2 words. A nicer word for ass.
But?
Second word, not starting but.
Bench?
Not starting but. It's not the starting of something, it's the
End?
end, but, and starting, but
end.
I lost.
But ending. Back row. Get McLovin to say the following words. You may begin.
Okay. The Nicolas Cage John Travolta movie.
Mask.
It's the start of...
Eric
Stoltz,
Stoltz, John Travolta, and Nicolas
Travolta.
Cage.
Okay,
You
you
didn't
said
say
it.
it like in 4 seconds, you got it.
Congrats to the back row. Nice job. Up next,
great.
it's time for Fritzy to share some previously banned mock headlines on the show. This should be fun. Stick around. Welcome back to the Box Score. Heartbreak echoed through the sports world today as it was revealed Rory McIlroy and Carolyn Wozniacki broke off their engagement. Fritzy, you had some mock headlines regarding this, but they were banned from being read on the show. What's up with that?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but you know, I do respect that Paul, your errors on the side of caution. We don't want to be kicked off the air or get all kinds of lawsuits.
That wasn't the reason.
There was some. I thought there were some clever, good ones in there, but I think we're down to 3 that were considered acceptable to make the airwaves.
The reason I didn't like them was not because of the language in them. I thought it was a little rough. A guy just broke up with his fiance yesterday afternoon. I thought it was a little harsh.
Oh my God, that was the last thing I were. They were pretty dirty too.
Plus,
That
I pause about covering people's personal lives too much on the show. When an NFL player gets divorced, I don't know really what the point is of us talking about it. Now, it depends. I mean, I know we're not like goody two-shoes here, and we delve into almost anything. I was like, you know what? I don't really see where to go with the Rory McIlroy topic, so that's why we didn't really bring it up today.
Well, we here on the Box Score have gotten permission to let you share a few of them, so please have at it, Fritz.
Okay, we got no one's to blame. It's a double fault. Her love for me wasn't real. It was bogey all along. And advantage me. I'm back on the market, baby. And I really have the urge to share a few more, but I will respect the ruling.
You guys are shooting promos for the show this week. McLovin, are you the best actor of the group?
Actually, I would like to talk tough here, but I'm an extremely bad actor, to be honest with you. But I think I'm so bad, I sort of stand out in these shoots, particularly because I can't walk. That's my big problem.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's no scenes where I have to pretend I'm holding a camera.
Yeah.
We saw how that went. So,
Fritzy's actually gone from worst to first. because one of our first promo shoots, he had the notoriously bad line of
Show order.
This guy gave him a script, and in parentheses it said the phrase "show order," which was not meant to be read on the air.
Show order.
And Fritzy just kept reading it over and over and over, and the guy goes, "Oh, that's not for the scene."
Is it weird that I ordered
It's very
show order?
Very confusing. I needed something in parentheses, or
Yeah, the guy meant rundown, and he called it the show.
That being said, though, Fritzy, the next year became like this amazing actor where we were all like, whoa, look at this
No more
dude.
wire hangers ever. Here's Johnny.
Fritzy, what's the show order for tomorrow?
The show order consists of one guest right now. That would be our friend Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. I believe 3-time Emmy Award winner. I'm extending it because it's just one guest.
6'2".
Jim Parsons will join us. He's got a new HBO project coming out, so he'll stop by for tomorrow's show.
Houston,
and we're working on
Texas.
some other things.
Thanks, guys, and thanks for watching the Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!